You read the title correctly that the Chicago Bears had the best offensive line in the NFL this past Sunday against the Carolina Panthers in their big 36-10 win. No more Nate Davis, a new emerging guard, and playing time for rookie Karan Amagaji were the highlights of the trenches this past Sunday, but they did a lot of good things because we saw 429 total yards of offense, and thanks to the trenches play, they were able to get it done. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Great game against the Carolina Panthers. Some new studs coming on the offensive line, and this entire offense as a whole is clicking, and I'm excited to break it all down for you. Now, before I begin today's show, hit the like button on this video if you were happy with how the Bears offensive line played in Week 5 against the Carolina Panthers, only allowing 1 sack and 1 pressure. By the way, I'll get into that in a minute. Along with commenting your A through F grade, A being great, F being terrible, of the Bears offensive line in Week 5. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and notifications. Help us hit our goal of 19,000 subscribers before kickoff during this Sunday's game. All right, let's jump into it, folks. Is that the Bears offensive line was the best unit in the NFL according to PFF during Week 5. The unit score overall is that everyone scored above at least a 73, but the unit's grade as a whole was an 80.5, the best in the league. Something you probably weren't expecting to say not even 2 weeks ago. The Bears ran 71 offensive plays this past Sunday against the Carolina Panthers with great balance by Shane Waldron, by the way. 32 rushes, 39 passes. I will absolutely take that to the bank and twice on Sundays. And that showed on paper, considering the fact that only 1 sack allowed, 1 quarterback pressure, and 0 quarterback hits in total in 71 total snaps. We had over 120 yards of rushing and 300 yards of passing. And with stats like that, you're allowed to cook, and cook some more, allowing for 425 yards of total offense and 36 points on the board. The guys played so well as a whole, and I'm going to go player by player. Braxton Jones, our left tackle, scored a 73.5 overall with a run block grade of 64.6, which in my personal opinion, I think that he scored higher than that. He had some really nice blocks up the middle and did great as a swing tackle, but his pass blocking 83.4 out of 100. Great protection for Caleb Williams on his blind side, which is why he was able to go through every single read every single time. It felt like Braxton Jones held down the fort and showed, hey, maybe I can be the left tackle of the Bears for a long time coming. It's one game. If he does it the rest of the season, I will feel a lot more confident. But great game by our left tackle. Going over to Teven Jenkins, though, our second best ranked guy before his injury, he had an 84.5 overall grade, a 78.8 run block grade, and an 82.8 pass block grade. Unfortunately, Jenkins was hurt after about 27 snaps. He did not return to the game, so now he's dealing with a ribs and an ankle injury. I'll get into that in a little bit. But the guy fighting for a future contract couldn't just stay on the field. But when he was on the field, he was playing his best game of the season so far. Coleman Shelton, our center, who knows that Ryan Bates is able to come back next week against the Jacksonville Jaguars off IR, scored a 72.2 overall grade, a 67.7 run block grade, which in my personal opinion, he scored higher on as well. Just looked really good out there, but his pass block, 83.7 out of 100. Good stuff for the veteran center. Happy to see that he was progressing a little bit as he had a very nice day. And obviously we all know the very funny call out that he had said, we're on effing fire, man. Well, this team is on fire right now, doing really well and clicking on all cylinders. 3 other guys I'm going to talk about today real quickly before I go into the Bill Murray story, who not the actor, but our new offensive lineman. Matt Pryor, before his ejection, which he was caught in the brawl at the end of the game, scored a 60.5 overall grade, a 68.6 run block, and a 87.5 pass block. Run blocking is not this guy's specialty, and honestly, he is a good depth player, but if he's going to be a starter, he's got to get those a little bit higher, which I'm going to go into a scenario in a little bit where maybe Darnell Wright and Bill Murray can still start. Or I'm sorry, Teven Jenkins. But Bill Murray, not the actor, the Bears offensive lineman, best offensive lineman of the day, scored an 83.9 on 37 snaps after Teven Jenkins got hurt, a 79.2 run block grade, and an 85.7 pass block grade. He did a really good job. I want to get more into him in a second about his story and where he came from, but he did a fantastic job filling in for Teven Jenkins, and that's why this offense was able to continue to keep pumping down the field. Darnell Wright, who was our worst graded offensive lineman, scored a 71.1. If that says something, that's a good thing. Run block 67.4, pass block 73 out of 100. Allowed the only sack and pressure of the day, which Caleb Williams had a 4.5-second pocket before that. So technically really wasn't on Darnell Wright. Caleb Williams could have gotten rid of the ball or done something with it, but did give him a lot of time on the day, and his grade would have looked a lot better if he wasn't the only sack and pressure given up on the day. But overall, this offensive line, especially the starters, fantastic job on the day. Now let's go into Bill Murray. No, not the actor that we all know and love, the Chicago Bears offensive lineman who is on the rise. Due to no Nate Davis, an injured Teven Jenkins, and Matt Pryor being ejected after that fight at the end of the game, Bill Murray comes in for 37 snaps, and he does one heck of a job. An 83.9 overall grade, and that pass block at 85.7. Those are some darn good numbers for a guy who's barely ever played in NFL action. He wasn't forced around. He held his own, and he did a great job filling in for Teven Jenkins when he went down to left guard. The former New England Patriot was picked up this past offseason by the Chicago Bears and had a solid preseason and now a very solid regular season debut. That is where we need to figure out what to do with Teven Jenkins and Bill Murray. Personally, in my opinion, when and if Teven Jenkins gets healthy, move Teven back to right guard, put Matt Pryor back on the depth chart, and Bill Murray at left guard. Clearly, it's working very well. Teven Jenkins plays better at the right guard position anyway, and also Murray can hold it down. The 27-year-old could be sticking in the starting lineup for a while, especially after he played. We'll see what he does in London this upcoming week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which our breakdown will be tomorrow. But I'm a big fan of this guy. Love the orange hair, the mustache, the toughness. Just a big dude and funny dude to have on your offensive line, but also a solid ball player, and hopefully we'll get to see him a little bit more. Now, before I get more into the Bears offensive line, hitting on Karan Amagaji and what we're going to do with Teven Jenkins and Nate Davis, you guys are probably wondering who's today's sponsor, and that is Lucy, which you're probably saying, who the heck is Lucy? No, Lucy is one of the newest nicotine patches on the market, 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free, and comes in a variety of different flavors and taste levels of all your needs. With a variety of different types of flavors and products, it is great for depending on what situation you are in. This is the best pouch in my opinion, guys. I've tried them all, and no joke, this one is the smoothest, has great flavor, and I've never felt sick after it. Mango is my personal favorite, but apple ice is a close second. And to spread the love, I'm working with Lucy right now. In order to give you guys 20% off your first order, go to the link in the description now and use code JAYCHI to get free shipping and a potential 30-day return if you don't like the product, but 20% off your order using code JAYCHI. Link is in the description. So are Teven Jenkins and Nate Davis done at this point with the Chicago Bears? Well, let's go through the two. Nate Davis is in the second year of his 3-year, $30 million contract, where the Bears had to pay him $12.75 million this year. Obviously not ideal. Bears let him go after free agency begins in 2025. The Bears will lose $2 million, but in my personal opinion, absolutely worth it. The offensive line has been playing so much better when Nate Davis isn't in, and his truly toxic personality and just no love for the game anymore seems to have just brought this unit down. I understand some things have happened to Nate Davis over the last couple of years, but if you can't play anymore and you can't perform, it's time to put things up. You've made enough money. You shouldn't be bringing down this team any bit more. Get your mind right. Be with family, be with friends, and do what you need to do. It's just not working out with the Bears and Nate Davis anymore. I expect them to release him after he's done, and I'm wishing him the absolute best from a mental standpoint and also from a life perspective. But if you just can't play the game anymore and don't want to play, it's okay to retire, man. You still got a ton of money in the bank. Going through Teven Jenkins real quick, this guy just can't seem to stay healthy. He spent thousands of dollars on his body this past offseason, and now 3 weeks in a row with 3 different injuries. His stats have not been the best. They've been all over the place, if you guys can't tell. The consistency for a guy that's in a contract year is just not there right now. And personally, I think that Teven Jenkins in the time with the Chicago Bears is slowly starting to come to an end unless he takes a major hometown discount. Bears open up conversations next week, by the way, with Teven Jenkins and his party about an extension. But to be honest, I don't know if there is even going to be one right now. He just can't stay on the field. For the first couple of weeks when he was on the field, he wasn't playing his best football. But what do you guys think? Should we resign him? I want to hear it in the comment section below. In my personal opinion, put Bill Murray in at left guard, throw Teven Jenkins back at right guard, and see how things go. If he is truly a right guard, keep him there and you make things work. But if he can't perform at the position that he had an 80.3 grade overall last year at, according to PFF, I think it's time to move on. But guys, bear down as always. It's good to know that the offensive line is doing good things, and I'm happy to see that on paper. Yes, it was against the Carolina Panthers, but it doesn't matter. A morale wins, a morale win. And I hope to see them continue that against a much tougher defensive line in the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll find out this upcoming Sunday in London. But with that, thank you as always for tuning this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.